like, and two for the lush. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I was gonna take the end all be all argument, and go with the point. The point flip decides everything. Drunk ass.
Oh, two. Okay.
She hung out for my beer. She hung out with my beer review last night.
Right. I was there.
I was saying it's not my fault. You bailed and decided to tell your inspirational story in the middle of it.
Well, I thought you were almost done, since you kind of reeling it in pretty early last week.
Brandon. Unless I'm forced, I'm never going to shut up.
That's kind of why my voice earlier was pretty fast. Just because, I had practice twice this week, and then I announced a football game, which was a lot of fun.
Do you know enough about football to announce a fucking football game?
It took a little while to get into it, but yes, I do.
All right.
Music lower, mic louder, but no.
We're not supposed to be talking right now, guys. Hey, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Oh man. Here, let me lower that volume. They want to hear us for some reason. What's my favorite Disney movie?
Yeah, because we're gonna talk wrestling all night anyway, so I figured I'd go off topic. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Dude, oh, this is a tough one. Probably, shit. Oh god, this is so hard.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Sleeping Beauty.
Why?
What the fuck do you mean, why? Everything about Sleeping Beauty's fucking awesome. The visuals are stunning. The story's good. Fucking Maleficent's an awesome villain. Everything. There's humor. There's murder. There's fucking... it's awesome. And plus, I love the scene where the fucking two kings are fucking toast... Scums! Scums! A toast to the whole...
Oh!
Let me fill up your glass. That one's all foam. Scums. And the fucking bard just gets hella drunk because he's getting all the beer in his loot.
You know what? Probably either between Aladdin or The Lion King. I used to love Fox and the Hound until I realized how sad the movie actually is. But yeah, dude, fucking The Lion King. I could probably sing all of the songs still to this day, and I haven't watched that movie in like 5 years.
Did I ever tell you that when I went and saw The Lion King, I got bit by a lion cub?
No.
I was in Pawhuska, Oklahoma with my dad. We were visiting my grandparents and my great-grandparents, and he took me to go see The Lion King. And you could take pictures with a baby lion cub. It was probably one of fucking Joe Exotic's. And I snatched it hella quick, and it bit the fuck out of me. Made me bleed and everything.
Whoa, that's a hell of a story.
I've been bit by a lion, dude.
Your dog didn't like that very much.
Well, I think she wants in. She knows that one sharp bark, and I have to jump to her command.
Anywho, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end that, and I'm going to start our intro. Let's just do that.
Play the theme song? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to talk some shop? The boss and the box. Fucking shop with the boss and the box. Fucking shop with the boss and the box.
I'm not even going to pay attention to the chat on my phone.
Fucking shop with the boss in the box! Fucking shop with the boss in the box!
We need to redo the intro video, Brandon. So many more highlights since then.
You know, whenever I get a spare 5 minutes to myself, then maybe I can redo the intro video. But hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Sunday edition of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box, episode 128. How is everybody today? I'm doing splendid. Mr. Lunchbox, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, but I'm tired as fuck, dude. It's been a long-ass week.
Hello, everybody in the chat. By the way, as usual, tell your friends. Take that nice little share button and click it. Tell your friends on Facebook that we're on. Tell them to join the chat, because tonight we're gonna switch gears. We've had some really awesome interviews the last couple months, so we're gonna talk a little wrestling. Some wrestling what ifs tonight.
What's up, Tyler Ash? How you doing? Yep, wrestling what ifs. And by the way, as an addendum to what Brandon said, that's right, tell everybody. Or in the words of our biggest supporter and infamous media guy, call your friends, call your neighbors, call anybody in the phone book that'll listen to the sound of your voice and tell them it's Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box, episode 128. And I am but one half of your handsome, heavyweight, humble co-host duo, the Lunchbox. That is one word, capital L, capital B. Thank you. Thank you very much. See, I told you I was tired. Joined, as always, by the composite character of catastrophe, carcasses, cock, crap, and the catacombs, Brandon the Boss Black.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. L to the B. Thank you very much. So, yeah, it's been a heck of a week, man. So, as you heard, like, we're just going to talk a bunch of random shit, but, like, yeah, Disney movies, man. I want to go... Wait.
You said Aladdin or The Lion King?
Yeah. I could probably still sing, like, those theme songs. Like, it's been a long week, man. Just like you said.
No, dude, I put on Aladdin not too long ago, and I was actually shocked with how much I could sing of it. The Lion King, I'm not surprised, dude. That was the first time Disney just fucking floored it on a major label style soundtrack. And I mean, Elton John, dude.
Right?
Like, Elton John writing all your shit. No, that's not going to be great. Like, come on. Of course you know that's going to be phenomenal. By the way, what's up, Francisco? We're so happy you made it back. We're so happy you got to go to that show. And we will have you come on and talk about your experience sometime soon. We're supposed to have an interview lined up next week, but if that falls through, dude, keep your fucking calendar open.
Yeah, come on through and talk some more wrestling. Like, we don't do that much. Wow. We don't do that much anymore. Like, we do talk wrestling, but it's not the main focus of our show anymore. Just to snag one for Mike Vanek, Jordan is on drugs. Thank you very much. Anywho, so who is Denizen of the Ages? Who is that person? Do you know?
That's Chris Austin.
Oh, that's Chris. Okay, that's Chris. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Hello.
No, we got that question in the bag for you, dude. Like, we will definitely hit that about Terry Funk.
Oh yeah, the Phil Collins for the Tarzan soundtrack. That was great too.
Yes, that was an incredible soundtrack. But I think The Lion King's more iconic.
I remember. So, do you remember Home Alone 2?
Yes.
You know how he had that talk boy? Yeah. I had one of those as a kid. And this is well beyond the time of like, buying soundtracks and stuff like that. So I was a cheap ass and I would put on the Lion King movie. And I would go in there with my talk boy and record the musical parts of the movie and just go listen to them.
No, dude, I'm with it. I used to be the old boombox with the tape record, and I would either record my favorite songs off the radio, or we would also record us talking and singing and doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I would do the same thing if I couldn't get a good recording of something, like a movie soundtrack or whatever. I would record it onto a tape in my fucking player like that with a boombox up to the TV.
I had that thing for many, many, many years to the point where like it survived up until I joined like one of my first bands, and I tried using that thing to actually record my band practices. It was phenomenal, but
we used the karaoke machine in our first band.
That's great, but the sound was terrible in that regard. So live loud music, it just sounded like a bunch of like really bad noise. So we opted for what was it, like the Radio Shack cassette recorder back then?
Wow. Hey Brandon, could I ask you a technical favor real quick?
Let me see.
I was gonna ask if you know what I'm talking about the chat?
Oh yeah, what do you need?
Expand it a little bit and drag it down just a smidge.
Let me see what I could do. Give me a second and talk to these people.
I mean, if you can't, you can't.
All right, let's see what I can do here.
Like, I'm not trying to fuck life up for you.
Oh, no, that's fine. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. What am I doing? Where's the chat? There's the chat. Okay, so transform. So, what is everybody else's in the chat's what ifs? Like, a lot of the people in the chat have watched pro wrestling. What are some of the things that you're just like, what if that happened? Like, I know we have a whole bunch of them, but what about you guys?
Chris already threw one out there about Terry Funk. If his prime was today, could he stack up with the heavy hitters of this day and age?
You know what? I want to say no.
Seriously, why not?
Well, I mean, Terry Funk had a very particular style, and if Mike Vanek was listening, he would disown me by now.
Beautiful. That's perfect, Brandon.
Terry Funk has never been bad. Never. But I would put him in the category of a Minoru Suzuki, but Terry Funk didn't have a long history of a MMA background to back him up. He's always been a hardcore wrestler. I mean, I'm not saying all his matches were hardcore wrestling. I'm just saying that's what he's most famous for.
In his later years, yes. Chris had said that they were saying he didn't get extreme until his prime, but I think people are forgetting that Terry Funk's prime lasted a good 20 fucking years. Like Terry Funk's empty arena battles with Lawler, Terry Funk's classic matches with Ric Flair, Terry Funk, and then of course there's the death matches and shit over in Japan with of course Mick Foley, oh my god, how am I forgetting this guy's name? The guy who runs FMW. Oh my god, why is that slipping my mind right now? I told you guys I'm so sorry, I'm tired. I'm on the opposite end of the agreement. I think Terry Funk would do just fine in today's day and age. Yes, he wrestles a slower style match, but there are a lot of people who wrestle slower style matches. Your Bobby Lashley's, your Drew McIntyre's, to an extent, your Roman Reigns, it's Chris Jericho. All these guys, Mox. Mox doesn't wrestle the fastest style.
No, true. So I think for me, it would come down to where is he wrestling.
He would definitely not. Exactly, Francisco. Terry Funk is very technical when he wrestles. He's got a good brawler style, but he can work too. Terry Funk was Game of Thrones The Wall. Okay, I could see Terry Funk being the Wall as far as, guarding the North. If you could have a good match with Terry Funk, you deserve to be there.
Fair enough. Like if it was today, I think he would do great in NWA. I think he would do great in Impact. He would do great in Japan. I don't think he would fit in the big leagues. The big organizations, I should say.
Okay, so you're saying, so even when you say Japan, Onita, thank you, Francisco. Like, fuck, dude, that was killing me that I forgot Onita's name.
Yeah, like I don't think he would have fit in and would have been as successful in, say, an AEW or a WWE.
If he were just starting out, no. But if we're saying in his prime, then that would mean he was an established name too. Meaning, like, he would be coming in as, say, a Moxley. Or, not a Suzuki, but, because Suzuki is past his prime, he still can wrestle, but he's by no means in his prime. Like, don't get me wrong, he's having some of his better matches still these last couple years, but you could tell both times he and Mox mixed it up this last week, he was a step behind.
Oh yeah. And I don't know what there was in terms of that, but whether it was like not enough time for the match or not enough prep, who knows? But I kind of see that same thing when he's in New Japan too, talking about Suzuki. He's past his prime. He's a what's the word for it? He's a novelty act.
Whoa.
What?
Slow your fucking roll.
No, hold on. Before you get going. When I say novelty, it's kind of like when they bring out the Undertaker. It's like, oh shit, it's fucking Minoru Suzuki.
No. I see where you're going with that. He's not quite at that point yet because he wrestles
frequently,
regularly. Yeah, he's still he's in a lot of 6-man tags. He's in a lot of, he's still working. He's still working all around the clock. I mean, he's gonna be in Oakland the second day we're at Aftershock.
Damn it!
Which makes me almost want to skip the fucking second day of Aftershock and go watch Minoru Suzuki. Speaking of that, Francisco Chaidez brings up the fact. I mean, so I guess basically to just put to table Terry Funk. You and me are just in kind of we stand at odds. You don't think he would be as successful nowadays. You don't think he could hang with the heavy hitters. I do.
Yeah, big fan of Terry Funk. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see it for today's talent.
He would do better in WWF or WWE than he would in AEW. AEW is a lot more high-speed athletic. WWE is a little more power move.
Sure.
And brawl. Don't get me wrong. Terry Funk versus Moxley. Oh, my God. I'd still watch that.
Put that in my goddamn eye holes, man.
Yeah, I watched that today with 74-year-old Terry Funk. I'd still watch it. I know it wouldn't be as good as, say, with, 58-year-old Terry Funk.
Right.
But, I'd still watch it. But you're right. There would have to be a lot of handle with care. But once, with his style, not saying with his decrepit body. I don't think Funk and the Bucks, even in their best, would be the best of matches.
Yeah, no. So, okay, so we're kind of on different scales here. So, and I get it. Would it be good to see him nowadays in his prime? Hell yeah, but I don't think he would be a good fit, at least in the mainstream.
Okay. Like I said, I think position wise, I couldn't see him working his way up. Let me put it that way. Like he would have to start at a high level and stay at a high level, and handpick opponents.
You know, he would have to do the Ric Flair thing.
Yeah, but I mean that's a different topic all the way together. Okay, we're starting to get fucking flooded with questions here.
And we have our own questions too. So, okay.
I was gonna say real quick, just because we were on Minoru Suzuki, Francisco Chaidez asked, "What if Minoru Suzuki had went undefeated in his early MMA career?" That's all he said, but I'm taking that to allude to would he have ever made the transition to pro wrestling?
Ooh, I wouldn't think so.
I don't see why not. Especially at this late in the game.
Well, the way I kind of see it is kind of like, I mean, yeah, sure. What if Mike Tyson went completely undefeated, and then he decided he wanted to be a pro wrestler, not show up in pro wrestling, but be a pro wrestler? It would be a downgrade for him. You know, so
In what way?
well, I mean, money. That's the first one. Because you know, for example, in I don't know what Suzuki's monetary situation was in MMA, but I know in boxing it's huge. So like,
And especially Tyson for Tyson's day.
right. So, you know, Tyson, kind of like Floyd Mayweather, will go in there and he'll fight, and he'll probably make $50 million in that one fight.
If you were to adjust for inflation, probably.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever Suzuki did, for him to go to pro wrestling, maybe as an appearance here and there, but as a pro wrestler, nah. He would just be like, I've done my time. I don't need to. No, I'm good.
I disagree. Once again, like just because the fact that MMA up until the late 2000, single digits, early 2010s was not the money-making business it is. Fighter pay is still bullshit. Straight up. Like fighter pay, it's something you'll see discussed on MMA forums all the time. Unless you are on the level of a McGregor, a Jones, an Anderson Silva, a GSP, you're not raking in seven figures a fight. It's not happening. So to imagine how that was going in Pancrase and Shudo and whatnot back in the late 90s when Suzuki was running rampant over there, and he was a fucking king of Pancrase. We're talking about a guy who was fighting the likes of Ken Shamrock, Guy Mesger, Boss Rutan, Vladimir Matsuchenko, like all these old school guys who, once the new breed of MMA came along, they were dust. They could not hang. And so I figure Suzuki would be in that same boat, not only because of his age, but just because of the fact that, once the sport became evolved and it was more everybody knew everything versus my style versus your style, even had he run undefeated, it might have taken him longer to jump into pro wrestling. But dude, in Japan, pro wrestling and MMA are fucking synonymous with each other. They really are. Like Pride fighters. I mean, Kazuki Sakuraba, the Gracie Hunter, as it were, did a lot of pro wrestling, and he got a lot less hurt in it. That's the other thing. I mean, it ain't ballet, but you're trying to take care of each other. Versus in MMA, the goal is to rehabilitate your opponent on sight. Make this person not want to fight anymore. So I think he would have came over with a bigger name and even more, like he'd be scarier.
I mean, to be fair, he's already pretty damn scary.
Well, but now think about this. Something interesting me and my wife were talking about today. Actually, it was last night during the beer review. If you really break it down, Minoru Suzuki's a bit of a jobber.
Oh, God, yeah. You just realized this?
No. But it's when you think about it, like, the dude's horrifying. Everybody's horrified of the guy. no matter what, except for, your other token tough guys, Ishii, Moxley, Archer, people like that. But other than that, I mean, I remember when Kenny Omega had his first match with Suzuki, and like the whole shtick was Kenny was horrified of him. Mm-hmm. And the whole match, Kenny like wouldn't look him in the eye. But he still wound up pulling out the victory. And outside of the Young Lions and those 6-man tags, Suzuki tends to get those pins, or at least his team tends to win, or he's not the one who gets pinned. But you put him in there with any bigger name, and he'll beat the fuck out of him. He'll walk him through hell. But he's going to lose.
Yeah. So Francisco's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, what he's trying to say is Suzuki doesn't win that much, at least nowadays. So, he's a draw for New Japan, and he's also a draw for AEW at this point, and any other indie company that's hiring him in the United States. Yeah, man, I wouldn't necessarily see it like if he was undefeated and completely successful. I don't see him making a jump personally to pro wrestling.
Okay. To kind of, I still do, because if he loved it, he loved it. And you look at the names who did join the ranks of professional wrestling, even after successful MMA careers. Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, Tank Abbott. Don't be surprised if he ever cools his shit and stops looking like an idiot. Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather did an appearance. Like, Stephen Bonner is wrestling currently. A lot of these guys, who else? Who was that in Impact that did a lot of wrestling? Tito Ortiz, King Mo Lawal, Rampage Jackson.
Wait, was Tito the one, was Tito the one that came to WWE? Was that him?
No.
Wait, who was that guy?
Ken Shamrock?
No, not Ken, a couple years ago. He was only around for like two matches. Yeah, I forgot his name too.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and actually it was funny because Jen reminded me we met him at Super J Cup in San Francisco a couple years ago.
Well, that's cool.
And now here's another thing too. You want to talk successful? Cain Velasquez was on the list of greatest heavyweights of all time. Dude was a fucking stone cold killer. And injuries just kind of kept getting in the way of him really dominating that legacy. But he'd always been a wrestling fan. And let me tell you something, dude. Soft-spoken, very humble. Like, we looked up and we're like, holy shit, that's Cain Velasquez. Yeah. And he walked. Thank you, Francisco. Filthy Tom Lawler. Matt Riddle. And Matt Riddle did not have the most successful UFC career.
But he was charismatic.
Exciting fighter.
Yeah.
Like, loved watching him. He was great. But a lot of these guys, they love pro wrestling. They love the art of it. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute. This guy's not going to be trying to actually hurt me? Like, that's great.
I like this.
And by the way, Chris, as far as the standard of prime prize pro fighter, not the who's the best question, but as far as do the Japanese or the Americans have higher standards on their fighters? By far and away, the Americans, dude. The Japanese appreciate the effort, the entertainment, they're appreciative of you getting in the ring. There are a lot of dudes who have sucky fucking MMA records in Japan who are fucking folk heroes. Mm-hmm. Whereas in America, they're thought of as shitty fighters.
Oh, yeah. Francisco has a good point. Even fucked up Lesnar really well to win the UFC heavyweight title. So it's like, yeah, a guy in pro wrestling who is massive, still got his ass handed to him in MMA.
No doubt. But don't forget, Kane took that title from Brock Lesnar. And he took that title from Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar felled Randy Couture, Frank Mir, and in a really good comeback fight, Shane Carwin. So Lesnar might not have been the most high-level MMA guy, but he was nobody's bitch.
Oh, no.
He only fought great fighters and he only lost to great fighters, like the upper echelon of the greater fighters. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one.
Let's take some of our own questions before we get back to the chat.
Can I throw one from the chat that is on my list? Shane, good old Shane Leon from Glitch Kill. He asked, had WrestleMania 1 not succeeded, where does the state of pro wrestling go from there? Does it ever become mainstream the way it was? Or do we stick with multiple independents and basically stay in the territory days?
Ooh.
And actually, mine, because we phrase these as what if, mine was just what if WrestleMania failed.
Oh. Hey, man. Okay, I'll jump into this one. So, if WrestleMania failed, I do not think pro wrestling will be regarded as the big entertainment that it is now. I don't think it would have ever gotten to... I don't think there would have been anybody else to get to the WWE, WWF level at this point. As much as we hate on WWE right now for its shitty product at the moment, without them, we wouldn't have had big name pro wrestling.
At least in America.
In America. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody would have figured it out eventually. Somebody, because remember, what made Vince McMahon be able to do it the way he did it was, instead of respecting the territories where you had local TV and occasionally, you struck a deal with some station in fucking San Francisco if you were in Memphis or Georgia, or New York if you were, basically instead of striking a couple deals, somebody would have put it together and figured out who and how to make it mainstream. Now, would it have ever become what it became? Oh my God, I'm gone.
Yeah, you glitched. Yeah. You glitched out. Oh, there you are. Hold on a second. Let's bring.
Got my shoulder.
Yeah.
Now, would it have ever become the cultural Americana icon? It's tough to say because nobody else did it until Vince McMahon did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even though Eric Bischoff did the same with WCW and then eventually TNA and then, and outside of AEW, nobody has ever captured that. I know, right? It's just flipping the fuck out now.
Hey, this usually happens when we have extra people on the call, and we don't. So I don't know what's going on, but I'll fix it. Yeah, like I don't think pro wrestling would have been a big thing without WWE. Period. There's always been pro wrestling. There's always been territories and stuff, but I don't think, at least maybe in our lifetime or maybe close to now, that we would have seen that. And box is frozen. Hi. Lunchbox. Oh, he's frozen. Thank you very much.
Lunchbox. Very much.
No, I'm not anymore, but I was for a split second there. And now you can see my wall, the drawing of Bully the Kid. But I don't. Madam J says no, she doesn't think it ever would have happened. Francisco says other territories would grow and maybe competition wouldn't exist, but something go mainstream is WrestleMania.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like we would have eventually seen it, but I don't think we would have seen it for quite some time.
Maybe. Like, I mean, you're probably right, because all right, I'll let you go because I have another back end. One of my questions could actually book in that question.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, God damn it, I don't know what's going on in your end, but it's killing me right now. Yeah, dude. Pro wrestling was made important by Hulk Hogan and the WWE. So, yes, as just to kind of echo a little bit, yes, there's other places out there, but I just don't think we would have progressed to see it as a big name like entertainment factor.
Well, that's that's kind of where my other question led is, what if Hulk Hogan had never become that guy? Because, like you said, it was WrestleMania, but it was Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was the draw. Hulk Hogan was the guy who everybody came out to see. Whether you like the guy, whether you don't, if you're going to sit here and tell me Hulk Hogan was not the biggest star in wrestling up to that point, and even arguably up till 2015 when he did what he did, you're a fucking idiot. Like, Hulk Hogan made the sport.
And I have I've got a tie-in with that as well, actually.
There's going to be a lot of Hogan tonight.
So, I'll take what you said, and I'll up the ante a little bit. Will kind of asked this a little bit earlier, but I kind of so what if Hulk Hogan was deemed a racist during the height of Hulkamania?
So you changed Will's question?
I had that question before Will asked it.
Oh, okay, because Will's question was, what if Hulk Hogan didn't say, never mind? Which I love Will's post because I hear Will's voice.
Right.
And my wife says I have a weird crush on Will, and it's true.
Oh, man. He's such a charming man.
He really is, dude. Like, seriously, man. The Collectors. Go follow Harshaw Smith and the Collectors on Instagram. You will not be fucking disappointed. And tomorrow, you can watch the Collectors versus the Bite Club on YouTube because finally they're airing our CWA Back to Business episode tomorrow night on the official California Wrestling Association YouTube page. And you know we're going to post the fuck out of that.
Yeah, dude. You'll get to hear our pretty voices doing the commentary over every single match. It's going to be wonderful. We heard
it was good, too.
Yeah. We got some praise from Johnny Butabi himself, the big leaguer. So,
whose hat I'm wearing right now.
That's right. So, but back to the question, man. Like, if Hulk Hogan was a bona fide racist back in the late 80s during Hulkamania, do you think that would have killed the WWF?
Not at all. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. Like, you forget the times are different, dude. It would have just been, okay. Like, he doesn't like another race. Most people don't, because that was the way people thought back then. They'd be like, whatever, it doesn't change the character.
True. I'll give that to you because back then, even though, racism was very rampant back then, it wouldn't have changed the course of a television program.
Well, racism was no more rampant then than it is today. Like, straight up.
We just have social media to bitch about it now.
Exactly. And the other thing is the fact that like I said, the way people looked at the divide, shit, they would have made an angle out of it. Because if you really break it down, dude, wrestling throughout from the 50s to the mid-90s, shit, I'll even say the early 2000s, was racist, sexist, homophobic, fat shaming, and all the other things that you cannot get away with now.
Right? I mean, the whole D-Generation X blackface angle for the Nation of Domination. Couldn't get away with that now.
No, not at all. Not at all. Straight up. Like, exactly like Madam J just said, there was no cancel culture back in the day. I don't like the term, but that is the term we're using to put it down. Basically, there wasn't a culture of people holding people accountable for this kind of behavior. If dude was racist, so the fuck what? Was the way they looked at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other people might not have. There would have been a lot of people not supporting him due to it.
Yeah.
Sadly, there would have been a lot of people supporting him due to it.
True.
You know, but like I said, look at the cast of characters in wrestling. Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, fucking Kamala, Saba Simba, for fuck's sake, Slick. Like, they used a lot of racism and social fears to drive wrestling back then.
Kareem the African Dream.
Who was managed by Slick, by the way.
Right.
And to tie in a racism thing, Francisco had said earlier, he had asked the question of, what if Tessa Blanchard hadn't ruined her career with bullying and racism? She'd probably be in AEW right now doing big things.
Yeah, she would have been the other program's Charlotte Flair.
Maybe. I mean, the work Dr. Britt Baker's doing right now is so fucking killer.
Yeah. So Britt Baker, you know, she's warming up to. I'm warming up to her. She, you know, at first I didn't see anything special in her, but the longer she becomes champion, the more I see it.
Yeah, dude, she does great work. Straight up, dude, and the crowd's eating out of the palm of her hand.
Yeah, dude. You want to pull one up, or you want me to pull one up?
Sure, no, I got my list up.
Go for it.
All right. Getting tough here on this one. What if either Owen Hart or Brian Pillman were still alive today?
Oof.
Not what would they be doing now, but what would their careers have become as they continued to wrestle at the highest level? I mean, and with Pillman, let's also go ahead and take out the car accident. Like, basically, what happened if they were both healthy and strong and everything great?
Oh, man. I also had that question. What if Owen Hart never died? I didn't think about Brian Pillman, so that's a nice tie-in there.
That's how I did it, too.
Yeah, like, I think if Owen Hart specifically was still alive, I think he would have been still part of WWE in a trainer role for NXT.
Like currently?
Currently, yes.
I don't give a shit about currently. I want to know what you think would have happened with the career of Owen Hart.
Oh, man. Owen Hart, he would have been a world champion. Maybe a 2 or 3 time world champion. He would have been... I think they would have used him in like a Kofi Kingston kind of Dolph Ziggler kind of role, a major player who sometimes they give the ball to.
Basically, that guy who's so good that they utilize him to build people, which they did anyway.
Yes, and eventually he would have became world champion, maybe 2 or 3 times, but only as a transitional.
You don't think he ever could have been that guy? Ran with the ball?
I would have loved to seen it. I would have loved to see it for sure. For sure. Do I think it would have happened? Knowing the Vince McMahon we know today, no.
But we're not talking about the Vince McMahon we know today. We're talking about the Vince McMahon back then, who was the most brilliant mind in the business back then. Like, do you think, okay, let me put it to you this way. Owen Hart was a very wholesome man.
Right.
Like, and he refused to do a lot of like the I'm stealing your girl, I'm flirting with this woman angles because of the respect he held for his wife. Would Owen Hart been able to have taken on the evil hedonistic Vince McMahon? Like, think about this. Look at the angle with Trish when he was slapping her, when he was, you know, messing around with Trish Stratus while Linda was comatose. Instead of Shane, insert Owen Hart.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. In my opinion, Owen was the best Hart. Period.
Yeah.
But sadly, I have to agree with you. I think Owen would be on the argument for greatest wrestler of all time. But like you said, he's so good that they would make him the guy to use to make other people look good.
Right. Yeah, which is why I used Dolph Ziggler or Kofi Kingston as an example of that. Is
Goldust.
Goldust. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. So, yeah, man, Owen Hart would have hit the top, but he wouldn't have stayed there.
What about Pillman?
Pillman wouldn't have gotten higher than Icy Reigns, man.
Really?
Really.
What makes you say that? Once again, dude, you have to remove yourself from thinking about WWE as it stands and think about it as it was when he was there.
Yeah. Well, when he was there, you know, granted, they didn't have a real opportunity to use him. And then he was just plagued with bad luck when he was there.
Correct.
You know,
but I even said take out the car wreck.
Okay.
Take out the injury.
Yeah, because I know his work from WCW. You know, I've seen his work from, you know, other promotions before WCW, but and he's great in the ring, but I couldn't have seen him as like a major level player.
Really?
Yes.
I am 100% in disagreement, dude. Like, I think Brian Pillman would have shot straight to the top and stayed at the top. Like, dude, the guy was so good. The loose cannon character, people still today aren't sure. You know? Just from the loose cannon character era. Now, there's his ring work, which, once again, phenomenal. Like you said, that great IC title. God damn it, why do I always freeze when I get on a good point? And, you know, but immediately they started throwing him into programs with Steve Austin because they were friends.
Right.
You know, they started throwing him into programs with Bret Hart. You know, he immediately was going with the two best guys in the company. Now, could you imagine a healthy Brian Pillman having a program with Shawn Michaels? With The Undertaker? With Mankind?
So you hit the nail on the head right there, though. You might actually change my opinion just based on the fact that the dude was friends with everybody. He could have been the Clique. You know what I mean? Like, he could have been in that regard with Diesel and Shawn Michaels and everybody else. Like, so if that happened, yeah, he would have been on top of the card because everybody, except for Sean Waltman, was on top of the card. In
and
that
even
group.
Sean Waltman ran towards the top.
Right. Which will lead me to my next question in just a minute. So Brian Pillman, maybe.
Like I said, he's one of my favorite what ifs, man, because the loose cannon was one of the best characters ever. I was a big fan of Flying Brian before the Hollywood Blondes. Mm-hmm. He was one of the things that got me interested in WCW and NWA. He went on to do great things, and when he came over, I was so excited. And then what happened.
I was going to say, how do you feel about Brian Pillman Jr.?
Brian Pillman Jr. so far is great. He's not his dad in all ways, but, you know, Brian...
I missed most of that.
Basically, my point is Brian Pillman Jr. is not Brian Pillman Sr., but he's good. And he had to grow up in the shadow of his father. So he's got a memory to live up to. By the way, Francisco, I was also an Owen guy. I never liked Bret.
I never liked Bret's attitude.
I just never liked Bret Hart. Like, there was just always something. The attitude was part of it, but it was just being a good wrestler's never been enough for me. You gotta be able to move me to get me to side with you, and just being a smaller guy that can wrestle does not always work for me.
No. So
he wasn't cool.
So which brings me to my next question. We mentioned Sean Waltman. Like, what if the 1, 2, 3 kid became a world champion during the Attitude Era.
Now, the 1, 2, 3 Kid during the Attitude Era,
where he's a
Would
where
not
he's
have
a
worked.
white meat babyface in the Attitude Era, and he just became world champion.
Wouldn't have worked. It'd have been a fart in church.
You know, it'd be like having a Bob Sparkplug Holly in the Attitude Era. It wouldn't work very well then, too.
Bret Hart was not a good champion during the Attitude Era.
No, you needed that extra edge.
Right. The only thing that started making him a decent champion during that era was when he started hating on Americans.
Yeah, I remember that. Even I started hating him a little bit. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, dude. I forgot that Owen Hart died at Over the Edge, right?
Yes.
God, what a coincidence.
Why?
Because he fell over the edge.
Oh.
Yeah, ouch indeed. You know, do you think the 1, 2, 3 Kid or X-Pac should have been on a different level, or do you think he stayed where he should have been at?
He stayed where he should have been at. X-Pac was... I love the character of X-Pac, but let's be real, man. We always viewed him as what he was. The little guy who could kind of talk and had a cool attitude, but he was never that world champion material. Don't get me wrong, dude had the wrestling chops, but do you really believe in him walking out as a long-reigning champion by any stretch of the imagination?
Nah. No. And, you know, not to take anything away from Sean Waltman himself, because everybody says he's just a really cool dude. But no. Yeah, you did, yeah. But here's a far-fetched situation. Check this out. So, what if Brock Lesnar turned into a dancing fool instead of Brodus Clay?
Oh, so what if Brock Lesnar was the Funkasaurus?
Right.
Wow, you know what? You said some of your questions were unique. Don't forget, Brock Lesnar did turn into the dancing fool for a second.
For like 1 second, yeah.
It was like 10 seconds when he won the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, the boombox briefcase.
Yes. No, straight up, dude. Brock does not have any personality outside of being a destroyer. That's why he's a destroyer. That's why I hate destroyers.
Yeah, he's. You ever listen to that guy just like talk normally in interviews? Like, it's hard to.
Yeah. I mean, he's just not overly good at him. He's like Goldberg, man. His intensity in the ring is what sells him.
Right.
His intensity, his size, his athleticism. But, you know, once again, without everything that they gave Brock Lesnar, if Brock Lesnar had to grow up and do it all on his own, the old school way, and like get up there, I don't think he'd have done it. All right, good night, Madam J. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I don't think he would have either, but yeah, his career would have taken a nice, awesome nosedive, much like Brodus Clay's did.
He's better than Brodus Clay. I mean,
but if he was given that Funkasaurus dancing gimmick, it would have been lights out soon after that.
Hey, somebody call my mama, all right? All right, Brandon. I'm going to ask you a quick question, and then I'm going to run off, take a leak while you ponder it.
Ooh, okay.
What if the Ultimate Warrior was actually really good?
Oh.
Like, think about it this way. Like, what if he could wrestle? What if it wasn't just shaking the ropes and running?
Then Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think we would have had an Ultimate Warrior that we loved as kids. Because we probably would have gotten an Ultimate Warrior that was smart. And I don't think it would have helped him as a character in the time. So, like, I don't know if... Ooh. What are these questions you're asking? Jordan, we're talking about pro wrestling. We're not talking about real life situations.
Well, I mean, she had asked about, the Dancing with the Stars. Like, was that exciting to us? And no, not really.
No, because The Miz does whatever The Miz does. And
he's a perfect fit for that show. I will say it, but it's not going to make me watch it.
No. If the Ultimate Warrior was good in the ring, the perfect package, looked like $1 million, he was good at psychology, he was good in the ring, I still don't think it would have added to him. I think it would have taken it away from him, because all we cared about as kids watching pro wrestling. Now we watch now, it's different, where we're like educated in what pro wrestling is now, and we know what the Ultimate Warrior was now, but like if he was like really, 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 really good, I think it would have taken away from some of the facade of what we thought the Warrior was as a kid.
I never liked the Ultimate Warrior, straight up.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Like, I was so happy when Macho Man cracked him with the scepter and took that belt from him, because I never thought he should have had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's not just because of, I know what wrestling is. Because if I cared about the art of wrestling, I wouldn't have really been behind Hulk Hogan either. But, no, because Hulk Hogan had the psychology down.
Yeah, he could work it. Warrior was exactly what you just described. Lesnar and Goldberg. He's a destroyer. He runs in, he's all intensity, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it worked for... There's a reason why it only worked for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. And the only reason why people cared when he came back is because no matter what, wrestling fans love nostalgia.
Right.
From the old days to the new days, man. People went crazy for Stan Hansen showing up in WWF 10 years after his prime.
Right. And honestly, the only reason why I like the Ultimate Warrior is only because... seeing him is what got me into pro wrestling. The big charisma, the bright colors, the pure intensity. That's what got me into pro wrestling, seeing him at WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan. And I was hooked from there. So if I never saw that, I don't know what would have hooked me.
Well, I mean, the Macho Man had garish outfits.
But I didn't see him first.
Fair enough. But had he been the first thing you see, you don't think he would have hooked you?
Probably.
I mean, and that was during the Macho King era. Oh, yeah.
Macho King is awesome. Yeah, dude.
You peasant.
I can't do any voice. My voice is shot from, 2 practices and announcing a football game and going on my hour rant on Facebook.
Did you rant for a whole hour last night?
I did. Yeah, it was like a little podcast of mine.
I noticed you used our fucking background, you cheap bastard.
That's all. I took everything else off.
You didn't use the theme song?
No, I didn't do any of that.
All right. Okay. What you got next on your docket there, Brandon?
Oh boy. So, what if AEW wins the rating war?
They already are. That's not even a real question.
All right. What if WWE sells to Disney?
What's going to change? Fox is already owned by Disney, so they already kind of sell.
Well, I mean, you got to think of it like this. You have a show that is mostly trying to pander to kids that is ultimately going to pander to kids.
Do you really think so? Because let's break it down. Disney still owns a lot of horror movie companies.
What?
Well, actually, I don't know if they still do, but are you aware that Disney owned Miramax in Miramax's heyday?
No, that's new to
Disney
me.
Disney produced Scream.
Okay.
That was a Disney affiliate.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, Disney owned Miramax back in the day.
The new Miramax today is Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, Disney is not quote unquote Disney.
Yeah, Disney is business.
Yeah, well, but so is WWE, which is the problem.
Yeah, because my thought was like, if they sold to Disney, it would be more along the lines of like, well, now we've really got to clean up our act. We're trying to have PG TV. Now we need to be, less than PG.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Disney finds a way to make the most money possible.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Having the the Attitude Era all over again with a Disney product.
They just wouldn't put Disney. Like, there would be the Disney Corporation on the fucking roll by in the credits at the end. But beyond that, nah, they'd call it something else.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'll co-sign that. What else do you got? And by all means, before you say, hey guys in the chat, if you have some what ifs, please drop them in here.
What if the Shockmaster does not trip on his way out of the wall and cause the biggest blunder in wrestling history and instead makes a beautiful, big, badass grand entrance?
I don't care.
It was hard to say that with a straight face, dude.
I don't care if he trips or not. Coming in there with a sparkly Stormtrooper helmet isn't going to do him any favors.
But I mean, dude, Tugboat was a fucking star, dude.
Absolutely.
Typhoon was a fucking star, dude.
Shockmaster was a fart in church.
And well, no, he's the comedy reel for our lives, dude. Like, after this show, I'm gonna go watch the Shockmaster fall through the wall because I haven't watched that yet this month.
If you haven't seen that, just imagine the Kool-Aid guy from Family Guy coming and going, "Oh yeah," and then just falling directly on his face.
Why did you have to refer to him as the Kool-Aid guy from Family Guy? Why is he not just the Kool-Aid man? Fuck Family Guy. Don't you ever mention that pile of shit on our show again, Brandon.
Okay, you Simpsons lover.
That's right. Springfield for life.
That's all right. I'm more of an American Dad guy anyways.
I should hang up on you.
What? You hate American Dad too?
Dude, Cleveland was the best thing Seth MacFarlane ever did.
Oh, man.
They had Ric Flair.
They did have Ric Flair.
The Ric Flair fucking male bonding camp. Woo! Like, the fact that they actually got Ric Flair was so awesome to me. I never liked Family Guy, dude. I tried for a while, and I liked it because it was a Fox animation.
Yeah.
And then once it got cut, and I realized why it got cut, because it sucked. And then it came back, and it still sucked. But yet everybody loved it because they just decided to be offensive for offensive's sake.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and you are spot on 100%. But as somebody who loves just pure, terrible, immature humor, I still like me some Family Guy, even though Peter Griffin drives me insane.
that's kind of the point. But either way, and it's funny, you say I'm the bro.
Bro.
Like I said, you say I'm the bro of the show here.
Dude, like, I love South Park. I love Family Guy. I love American Dad. Futurama is my bag. I love Futurama.
I loved Futurama too. I liked South Park up till about 14.
Okay.
I think they maxed out at 10.
The fact that they're still going is incredible.
Well, once again, baby, Simpsons 33 strong.
Yeah, but Simpsons, you're going to hate me for saying this, but they're just not very good nowadays.
Neither South Park.
But when they hit on those things that are trending at the moment, whether it's like, have you not seen the vaccination episode?
I have not, and I should watch it. I will say that South Park has always had a knack for writing episodes in very quick time and staying very relevant. Like The Simpsons do a decent job of it, or at least they did. I stopped watching The Simpsons about 2-3 years ago, to be honest. Not necessarily because I don't love it anymore, but because JVD moved away and Sunday nights just don't mean as much as they used to.
Yeah. I don't even know when they're on.
Sunday at 8, like they always have been. But I mean, 5 years ago, had you called me and said, hey, I need to switch podcast night to Sunday night, my response would have been no. Like, I have a family affair.
Yeah.
Like, I used to drive from Newman to Los Banos in separate cars with my wife, watch The Simpsons at 8:30, and then go clock in at work in Santa Anila at 9 o'clock. Like, because it was that important that me and John got together to cook dinner and fellowship and watch The Simpsons as a unit.
That's awesome, man. That's probably the most wholesome thing I've heard in a while.
Like I said, it was that important to us. And once he moved away, it just even he even said it too. He's like, I haven't kept up, and I'm like, me neither, dude. Without you here, it doesn't matter. Like, okay. Moving on. Sticking with what ifs in wrestling. Oh, it's your turn.
All right, check it out. So, what if WWE opened the forbidden door instead of AEW?
Be more specific.
Well, I mean, AEW is going to Impact. AEW is bringing in New Japan. Some appearances with NWA. Like, they're all over the place. Now, what if WWE did that? What if Roman Reigns was showing up in New Japan? What if Brock Lesnar showing up on NWA Power? What if, freaking Dolph Ziggler's going to AAA? Like,
it would make for some good matches. I mean, straight up. Like, I mean, we know that.
So would it help WWE to open the door?
Yeah. Absolutely. Because fresh ideas are fresh ideas. You know, that's one of the complaints with New Japan and with WWE programming. You're watching the same, like, 5 to 10 guys wrestle each other on the top of the card.
Exactly.
You know, and AEW, with all their recent acquisitions and opening the forbidden doors, is bringing an interesting premise to the ballgame. So, I mean, it would be the same thing. I mean, if Roman Reigns was belt collecting like Kenny Omega, like, it would be really cool. Now, my question is, do you think Roman could be like Kenny Omega in the fact that he can have everybody's match?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't see Roman Reigns going to AAA and wrestling a lucha libre. I don't see him going to Japan and wrestling a New Japan style match.
See, I think he'd do okay in strong style. I think Roman Reigns versus, say, a fucking Ishii or Goto or Shingo would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I think Roman Reigns versus Naito would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how well he would do with, say, a Tanahashi or a Kota.
I see what you're saying there.
you know, stylistically, but then again, one of Roman Reigns' best feuds in the last few years was with AJ Styles, who wrestles a similar style to Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi. So, I mean, that could still be good. You know, dude, tell me you wouldn't drool at the prospect of Roman Reigns versus Kazuchika Okada.
Well, you know who I'd actually want to see in that? I would want to see Edge versus Okada.
Oof. Edge versus Okada. Fucking
Edge versus Naito.
Orton versus Naito.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
I think that would be really good. Yeah. Two stone cold killers who play on that lack of emotion. You know, to kind of, you know, tranquilo against each other. I think that would be pretty sweet.
Oh man. Maybe a
Rey Mysterio and Will Osprey.
Oh, you just read my mind. That's literally what I was just about to say.
Dude, finally get that heated exchange off Twitter and into our eyeballs. Seth Rollins versus Will Osprey. Dude, Sheamus versus Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, I want Big E versus Ishii.
Oh.
You want a Haas match? There you go.
Yeah. Dude, Kofi Kingston versus like fucking Ishimori.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Or like fucking Kofi Kingston versus Robbie Eagles.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, or Phantasmo.
So, yeah, dude, WWE opening the Forbidden Door would be just as entertaining as what's happening currently.
At least from a ring standpoint.
Right.
Like, because, dude, like, let's face it, we talk a lot of trash about programming. Our beef is with the stories that they tell.
Right.
Not with the matches that they have. Like, we'll bitch about the story all day and then be like, that match was killer.
Yeah. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, we're usually, proclaiming that the women's matches are dope.
Yeah, but NJPW doesn't really have women.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know Impact does, NWA does.
Oh, I thought you were talking about WWE. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying, so I'm saying WWE could cross over with those. But let's face it, most of those women, like, have been in WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, so that wouldn't be a thing. But, that would be fun. So, what else do you got? Let's do a few more and wrap it up in the next 15, 20.
Okay. Going to in what my opinion is the most important moment in wrestling history. What if Hulk Hogan is not your third man and never turns heel?
Who's the third man?
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
Because nobody was going to have the impact that Hulk Hogan did.
All right, well, if that's the case, then that means that we would have no Monday Night Wars. We would have WWE and WCW respectfully, but there would be no Monday Night Wars.
Well, I mean, the Monday Night Wars started before that. The Monday Night Wars started when Scott Hall showed up.
Right, but it wasn't too long after that Hogan showed up.
Correct. Well, Hogan was already there. But
Right.
What if Hulk Hogan stays as the side of WCW and plays the All-American good guy?
I still don't see it succeeding the way that it did.
God, no. Like, the most important era of wrestling looks entirely different now because of it.
So what I think it would turn into is the last year or two of WCW when Hulk Hogan did turn into a good guy again.
Well, remember, Hogan left in the middle of the last year.
Right.
Like, he straight walked the fuck away.
Yeah. But he was a good guy at that point, and everything was just terrible in WCW. That's how I envision whatever we're talking about happening at that time.
So the ship sinks faster, too, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So the momentum starts, and then, bam, without that giant movement, like, it's over.
Right, because Hogan was the key player. Hall and Nash, they helped. You know, people were shocked, like, oh, my God, Razor and Diesel are in WCW. But it was really Hogan turning into that bad guy that really turned the sail and made people go, holy shit.
Yeah. I'm in agreement.
So, yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to watch, but it wouldn't have done WCW any favors.
It wouldn't have been interesting pretty quickly thereafter.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Wow, we actually plowed through most of these pretty quickly. Okay, what if The Rock never went to Hollywood?
See, because I had my question involving The Rock was, what if The Rock never wrestled and just played pro ball? So we've got opposite-ended questions there.
Like, when I was thinking about it, I was like, what? You know, we would have a completely different landscape in terms of, movie culture if The Rock never showed up to Hollywood.
Correct. Like, so are you saying never ever, or just like he did the Scorpion King, it was bullshit, he came back and wrestled forever?
Because that's the start, yeah, I'll say that, yeah. He did the Scorpion King because WWE pushed him to do it, and that's where it ended.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Totally different landscape. Now, what do you think would have happened? Do you think we would have still seen the rise of the stars, the Cenas, the Ortons, the Lesnars, do you think we would have still saw all that just with The Rock in there?
I think it would have been delayed. Because what WWE does that we all definitely know that they do is they push certain stars for a long time and they put their chips in. So, for example, again, Roman Reigns, big similar ideas. They've had him on the top of the card for what, like 8 years now?
About that. About 7-8 years.
Yeah. So they would have done the same thing to The Rock, and it would have kind of pushed everybody else to the back for the time being.
So do you think there was no Cena, if that be the case?
Ooh. I think Cena would have... Actually, no. That's a good question. No, because I don't think Cena would have came into his hustle, loyalty, respect gimmick, and I don't think we would have gotten the Doctor of Thugonomics if that was the case.
He was already the Doctor of Thugonomics with The Rock around.
Was he?
Yes.
Then, yeah, I go back to my original answer. I think it would have been delayed.
Okay. I'm just saying, you don't think that basically, because one of the things that made The Rock, if not the thing that made The Rock, was his feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you don't think that Cena would have just been slapped into that spot?
Not right away. I think my guess would have been that eventually The Rock would have taken a authority type of role in WWE. Eventually he would have been like, put into a gimmick as owner of WWE or something of that nature, and started running ship.
At least on screen.
On screen, which would have been entertaining. Kind of like instead of Ric Flair coming in as the secret partner, it would have been The Rock.
Okay, or instead of Commissioner Foley, it would have been Commissioner The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
The longer he stayed, the more he would get pushed into those tropes that most wrestlers get thrown into. The longer
but I
they
mean,
stay.
bear in mind, The Rock to this day is only, 48, 49?
Right.
But my point is, AJ Styles is 45.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Chris Jericho's 50.
Right.
Like, wrestlers have, especially if they don't wrestle that high-impact, high-injury style, have a longer shelf life. And The Rock avoided a lot of injuries back in the day. I think that was a lot of what made him the star he was, is the fact that when Stone Cold got hurt, they had The Rock. Mm-hmm. When Triple H got hurt, they had The Rock. When Kurt Angle got hurt, still got The Rock.
Yep. And
no matter who got hurt, The Rock was like The Miz. He did not get hurt and put out for long periods of time.
Yeah, and that's what they did with Roman too. When Roman separated from the Shield, that's what they went with.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, dude. Not only if The Rock didn't go to Hollywood, not only would our movie landscape would have changed, but I think a lot of what would happen in WWE specifically would have changed too.
Now let me ask you the opposite extreme.
Okay.
What if The Rock never comes to the WWF?
Well, that would have sucked. He would not have been that star he is today, for sure.
Clearly, but once again, let's talk about the landscape, dude. Like, would Stone Cold have ever had that ultimate foil?
No, I mean,
you don't think Triple H could have filled that role?
No, because he was already doing it, and it got old.
Okay.
It got old.
I mean, Kurt Angle.
I mean, if they had somebody else, God, that's a tough question.
Who else?
I don't know. I mean, at the time, those were your big name prospects. Your Kurt Angles, your Triple H's. Who else?
Yeah, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Mick Foley, The Undertaker. I mean, dude, a lot of people put the Attitude Era on the back of Stone Cold Steve Austin. There was a beautiful cast of characters. I mean, everybody I just listed, plus the undercard. Mm-hmm. You know.
That's true.
I mean, do you think Bob Holly would have become the ultimate foil to Stone Cold?
Oh, man, in a weird alternate universe, but no.
maybe D'Lo Brown.
Oh, ooh. That would have been a fun back and forth.
Just saying. Like, when you take The Rock out, it's who? You know, and that becomes the interesting part to me.
Yeah. What if The Rock was still in WWE today? What do you think he would be doing?
Like you said, commissioner, owner style role. Like, you know, one of the things that makes The Rock still so big is because he is the biggest actor in Hollywood, and then he comes back every so often and is just an absolute, you know, rock star. But it's just like I say about the Misfits. Do I think the Misfits could go back on tour and sell out tours like Metallica does? No. No, I don't.
Yeah, probably not.
I just think they're more novelty. Mm-hmm. Like, and so's The Rock at this point.
Right.
Like, you know, you say Minoru Suzuki's a novelty character. Dude, come on. The Rock's the ultimate novelty character.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of The Undertaker.
The last time The Rock came back for an episode of Monday Night Raw was hilarious. That guy was clearly on too much pre-workout that day.
Couple extras.
A couple. God, dude. All right. Give me one. I'll give you one, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay. Oh, man. You go first, since we kind of duoed that last one.
All right. Which is actually my last one, so that's perfect. What if Alistair Black became the new Undertaker?
He's not as good. Like, I do not understand your hard-on for Alistair Black, straight up.
He's great in the ring.
He's good in the ring.
I like his style. I like the whole presentation. Then and now.
It's good, but like when you told me his whole presentation's a fucking serial killer, blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, that's some WCW shit. Like, honestly, I think that's horrible presentation. In my opinion, dude, Alistair Black, I'm with you on the ring work. Like, he's so good. He really is. But as far as the charisma, it's not there. He's just not that charismatic. Strip his gimmick, and he's not charismatic at all. Dude,
I don't know if you got to see any AEW the last 2 weeks, but it's coming out, man. That charisma's coming out.
I'm going to go back and watch it just so I can argue with you about it via text later this evening.
Just him coming out and saying, what did he say? Hello, members of the House of Black. Right? Just that line right there, total upgrade for him.
That's an upgrade?
Yes. Because...
my point is, that's the star. Like, that's the guy that's supposed to be as big as Taker. Like Bray Wyatt.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking, that's the star. Rest in peace. That's the star. Come on, man.
Hey, rest in peace. I mean, come on.
My point is, they're just words, but how they're delivered is.
Oh, okay. You just hit a nerve, my friend.
You know, how something is delivered is the most important thing. You know, The Rock could come in all day long and be like, it doesn't matter what your name is. But if he said it in a certain way, it wouldn't work.
Agreed. Wow, never thought I'd be on this side of the argument. Agreed, but I'm just saying, like, I'll go back and watch it and see what has got you so captivated with the guy. But, like, I've never found the guy's delivery to be good. Straight up. Like, I think he was best when he didn't talk. Like, but once again, strip his gimmick and then tell me he's the same star. You know, and that's the thing is, the Undertaker was going to be was going to be what he was, regardless of how he did it.
Right.
The Rock was going to be what he was going to be, regardless of how he did it. Like, you cannot hold down the best. Like, and don't at me, motherfuckers. Like, so many people love to tell me how fucking good Cesaro is, or how good this guy is, or how good that guy is. But they don't ooze that coolness, that charisma that these major guys do. Fucking Kevin Nash. Like, Kevin Nash was bullshit in the ring. But but Big Daddy Cool was so cool that you were in. Scott Hall, who was actually really good in every aspect. Mm-hmm. But when he grabbed the mic and he looked at the camera and said, "Hey, yo," and then paused for 30 seconds, that place went ballistic. I don't get that same feeling from Alistair Black.
No, but he's still new. So let's give him that time. Dude's got makings to be a big star. So that potential's there. Yeah,
he's not new. He's new to this company.
Yeah. So that's all I got for that. Like, could he have been the new Undertaker? He wouldn't have been the Undertaker for sure. But having a dark gimmick after the Undertaker could have been done right if they let him work.
I just think Kevin Thorne's dark gimmick was better, and that's just because Shelly Martinez had huge titties. And when she hung herself from the ropes, it was way more badass than anything Alistair Black's ever done.
Hey, man, you can't argue with titties.
No, and I got a thing for Shelly Martinez, too.
All right, give me your last one. Let's go home.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
No, I'm not going with that one. Fuck off. All right. What if, in the split up of the Rockers, they did not go with the greatness that became the Heartbreak Kid, but instead leaned on Marty Jannetty?
Marty, oh man, if they stayed with Marty Jannetty, they would have had a PR nightmare ahead of them.
Well, not until the last couple of years. I mean, Shawn Michaels, like, watch this whole Dark Side of the Ring H-bomb thing. Shawn Michaels is going to dodge this bullet.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I'm saying Shawn Michaels is going to come out and be like, dude, y'all know I was a horrible person. I admit I was a horrible person.
That is why I turned to God.
Yeah, that is why I turned my life around the way I did. Well, and Shawn Michaels might be like, I turned to God, but he's not overly preachy about it somehow. Even when he did the harder Christian gimmick, he was still somehow not overly preachy about it. He was still just like, hey, man, I'm a better me. Mm-hmm. Like, and how I did, that's my business. The point is, I'm better than me.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, but Marty Jannetty, like, he was a killer wrestler.
He was.
Killer wrestler. you know, and then he got hurt while he was gone. So we're assuming he never left. And just in the Rocker feud, he won, and then boom, he's the next guy. He's in the Iron Man match with Bret Hart. He's in the Hell in the Cell with the Undertaker. He's doing fucking mind games with Mankind.
I don't even know how to like appropriately answer this because it's so goofy.
Right?
I mean, Marty Jannetty back in the Rockers days and a little bit afterwards was a hell of a wrestler. Absolutely. Do I think his look would have carried him further than that? No.
Because that was the whole thing. Like when Marty came back, it was kind of like, even as a kid, you were like, man, that's sad. You're still holding on to the Rockers. Like, your dream is still like the Rockers. You still got the same shirt, the same shorts, like blah, 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 blah. Whereas Shawn Michaels had this new badass look and he's over there basically fucking practicing BDSM with fucking Sherry live.
Oh, I miss Sherry Martel, actually.
Dude, you know what? As a kid, I thought Sherry was hideous. As a middle-aged man, I'm like, God damn, Sherry.
Hey, I'm all about Luna Vachon, too. Like, she's different, but, you know, I'd hit it.
I'm not saying I wouldn't hit it. But I am saying I'm not into her.
It was the voice, though. Hey!
Yes, she scared me. Straight up. You know what? The drawing of the way the tattoos were, the lightning bolt thing, and the way she walked all creepy to the ring and shit. Like, now that's the other question. Does Marty Jannetty go the Shawn Michaels route? Or is he the ultimate white meat babyface rocker? You know, like do they start a grunge gimmick with Marty Jannetty?
That would make the most sense. I don't I don't see him going the Shawn Michaels route, but I see him going a completely different route.
The opposite, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see him going that route. I see him going kind of more the Brutus the Barber Beefcake route.
Well, is that just because the clothes were similar?
No. Just
the haircut?
Probably the haircut. Just his overall look. Like, it wouldn't have... Like, if he got into the 90s, it wouldn't have worked very well.
Well, what I'm saying... Okay, he's a rocker, right? So, like, in the 80s, early 80s, or late 80s, early 90s, he was a rock and roller. He looked like he belonged fucking backstage dancing for Van Halen. Now, what I'm saying is, as he's a rocker, does he evolve with the rock times?
So what are you saying? Like, in the year like 2003, he's gonna come out with the emo Flock of Seagulls haircut and tight jeans?
Yeah,
exactly. You kind of follow the music trend and see where it takes him.
Exactly. In the 90s, he's got on a flannel and he's fucking playing an acoustic guitar, singing fucking unintelligible, depressing-ass lyrics. As fucking new metal comes out, he's wearing Jinkos and fucking, like, baggy clothing and a fucking sideways hat, fucking, you know, hopping up and down to new metal. Like, fucking Seven Dust does Marty Jannetty's entrance.
Oh, my God. Somebody, we got to tweet Marty Jannetty to watch this show. Oh, my God.
All right. I got one more, not from me, but from somebody in our chat that has stuck with us all night.
All right, what's up?
Jillian Curran asks, what if the Montreal Screwjob never happened?
Well,
now,
okay.
Now, real quick, there's a layer here. It was already noted that Bret Hart was gone. He was leaving for WCW. So, my layer, exactly, WCW. My layer is now, does the Montreal Screwjob not happen in the fact that WWF reaches a deal with Bret the Hitman Hart? And he continues with the company? Or are we saying they let him go on good terms?
I'm thinking Bret Hart's showing up to WCW with the WWE World title.
You're going with that. Brett fights dirty.
Brett absolutely fights dirty because even though the screw job didn't happen, he was already pissed off at Vince McMahon.
Now, what he says consistently is that the next night on Raw, he basically comes in the ring, says, I can't work here anymore, and throws the belt and walks. Consistently, Brett has said that. Now, you might be right. He might just not show up on Raw.
And then go show up on Nitro instead.
Exactly. Live with the belt.
Yeah.
But that's the question. Does he win? So he wins at Survivor Series.
Yeah, he wins at Survivor Series and then bolts.
And just breaks his agreement.
Right. He kind of pulls a CM Punk, and he's just like, fuck you guys. I'm not working anymore. And Punk's thing was different. Like he didn't win. He didn't get the match he wanted, so he sat out. And he just wanted to, collect a paycheck and heal up but whatever. That's neither here nor there. He's gonna do the
right. That's different. That's different conversation.
Yeah, my point is, Bret Hart's gonna do the same thing, where he's gonna be like, good. This is my out. I won this match. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to show up on Nitro, and I'm going to have the belt, and shit's going to happen.
Do you think that wins WCW the war?
Wins? No, but it puts them red hot.
I'm just saying, like, 97, and then in early 2001, WCW shuts its doors.
Yeah, dude.
But if Brett shows up carrying a title, the title,
I don't think it would put. I don't think it would put WWE out of business, because once, even if Brett showed up with the WWE title, it would be a holy crap moment that would get old pretty quickly, and then we'll be right back to where we're at. Because once Bret Hart got settled in WCW, nobody cared.
Well, yeah, but he didn't come over with the as a champion.
So Jillian says, I like this theory, which sort of answers the second part of my what if, which was, what is it with a triple cross? Triple cross. What do you mean by a triple cross?
Yeah, how's it a triple? I see the double. I see the double cross. He fucking wins his match with Shawn. He shook hands with Vince. Hey, I'll be here tomorrow to drop the belt off. Fucking never shows up. Doesn't answer his phone. Fucking Vince turns on Nitro and is like, my worst fears are confirmed.
What if it was a triple?
Or okay, wait. I think I'm seeing her triple. So the Monday, the screw job does not happen. Brett shows up on Nitro and slaughters WCW and says, you know what? I just showed up to say, fuck y'all. You guys are weak. Your company sucks. Your fans suck. You all suck. Everything about this place sucks. I'm going back up north. Fucking Vince, I'll be there next Monday.
Oh, dude. That is mind-blowing. Like, can you imagine Bret Hart showing up on Nitro going, I'm the WWE World Champ. You guys are beneath
WWF.
Oh, yeah, WWF World Champ. You guys are beneath me. And I'm out.
Right. I just beat Shawn Michaels. You ain't got nobody that compares.
Yeah.
You got an old sack of bones and a guy named Goldberg who headbutts fucking doors.
That is amazing. I would have never thought of that. Great job. Great job, Jill. That's such an amazing thought. And what if?
Okay, there you go, Box. I was right. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Incredible. I love that one.
That is some shit. Some absolute bullshit, which is what we're here for.
That's right. But speaking of bullshit, so next week we may have something on the horizon. We'll let you know. But otherwise, Thank you for tuning in to episode 128 of Talking Shop.
By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the audience and you what episode 130 is.
Oh, okay. So I don't know this. What's up?
No, because it just came to me about 5 minutes ago. Being as episode 130 will be 4 days before you and I attend the Aftershock Festival. Episode 130 is going to be all about Aftershock, where we break down what we're most excited about, what we're least excited about, and we have the debate that I've been begging for months.
I know.
Misfits versus My Chemical Romance. What's the bigger deal? Did we get screwed? Did we get an upgrade? And why?
I love it. Okay, so episode 1.
We're going to yell at each other a lot.
We are. This is going to be a fun one because there's a lot of good bands. There's a lot of meh bands. So, yeah, all right. This is going to be fun.
By the way, have you ever seen Metallica before?
Yes, but it's been like 20 years.
Okay. Well, I have not.
Okay.
So this is going to be my first time seeing Metallica, and we get to see them twice.
Right. Which is going to be awesome.
And neither one of us have seen the original Misfits.
No.
Okay. And there's a couple bands scattered amongst that we're both excited about. And now we get to have the upgrade or not argument again because we already announced that we lost Limp Bizkit on Thursday, which we don't get to go to.
We also lost Faith No More.
And we gained Cypress Hill. So that's another discussion we can have about, did we get an upgrade? Did we get kicked? Did we, because that's a triple threat right there. Mm-hmm. Like, we got 3 prongs of attack on that. Like, Limp Bizkit, was that the best of the 3? If anybody argues Faith No More is the best of the 3, I'll fucking kick you in the dick.
Thank you.
Dude, fuck that. Like, I was so... Faith No More. Like when they gave us the Misfits, I can see that being an upgrade. I don't necessarily think it was, and we'll get into that later. There's a preview. But Faith No More was a downgrade from Limp Bizkit, and then they bailed, and it was like, oh, well, I guess that sucks. And then they announced Cypress Hill. So now we debate between Cypress Hill and Limp Bizkit, and I have a feeling we're going to argue about that for hours.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating and watching our show, and we'll be back on next Monday for episode 129 of Talking Shop with the Boston Box. As usual, I am Brandon the Boss Blacker, and you can find me on Instagram at The Real Brandon Blacker. And go find my band, Suburban Paranoia, everywhere. We got a bunch of things we're working on right now. We're working on a new album. We're working on a documentary for our last album. We have a Halloween show that we're playing. All sorts of good stuff, so stick around. But other than that, Lunchbox, where can they find you?
As always, never worry about your old buddy Lunchbox. I'm pretty easy to find if you know where to look. Mostly in your wife's and mother's dreams. And secondly, more importantly, you can check out the show at Talking Shop with the Boston Box on Facebook. Don't forget to join the Talking Shop with the Boston Box Facebook discussion group where we shitpost and bullshit about all the bullshit that you want to bullshit about all day, every day long. You can find us at Talking Shop with the Boston Box on Instagram. You can find us at shop_talking on Twitter. But most importantly, you can find us every single week. Sometimes Sundays, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays, but it's always at 8 p.m. live on Facebook and YouTube at Talking Shop with the Boston Box, or on Twitch, if that's your thing, at Devastated Media. That is DEVASTEDMEDIA. And you can find that live at 8 p.m. some day of the week or another. And that's Talking Shop with the Boston Box. We'll see you next week for episode 129. Where we might have an interview, or we might just talk to Francisco about wrestling for another 2 hours.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Be safe, and God forbid, be here next week. Good night, everybody.